And the official start of spring, just hours away. The excitement is really starting to build, I think. You know, I think especially as that snow was coming down, as you were scraping your car this morning, it was actually really quite exciting. Well, our houses, however, of course, are still feeling the effects of a long, long winter.
All right, so to help your home transition seasons, our handyman joins us to answer some commonly asked questions from Fratelloni's Ace Hardware. We welcome, of course, Mike Fratelloni.
Hi, Mikey Frat. How you doing?
I'm so sick of winter. I don't care what it is outside. We're moving to spring.
Okay.
Period.
Let's start doing it. So let's start doing some spring tasks around the house. So we've got lots of questions from our Facebook page, and then Ellen, you and I have a couple questions as well.
So it's a good idea, by the way. I like this.
Thanks.
People write in questions.
Yeah, this was
cool.
my idea.
Is that your idea?
No,
yeah, okay, good.
It definitely was
Seemed like a very good idea.
No, it wasn't. Okay, we're going to start inside. So this comes from Karen Rosler, and she has written us a Facebook question. She says, I want to easily refinish a small dresser. I have the sandpaper to take off what's left of the paint. What type of paint would give me good coverage for a flawed piece? It is going to hold my TV. She wants to know if she should use a flat finish.
Sure.
Whoa.
First of all, she's right about the flat finish.
Yeah.
Second of all, never do that project. It takes forever to do that. So people are like, I'm just going to strip this paint off of this thing. It's going to just take a couple hours. Like 20 hours later,
so don't do it?
It's a very, very difficult thing to do. It's possible, and we sell all the stuff, but it takes forever. It's easier to just clean it really well and paint right over it. Don't sand it.
Okay.
The moment you start sanding the paint off, then you have to sand everything off.
Really?
And that's a project you could do, right?
Yeah, well, you can do it,
right.
but do you want to?
Right.
Even I'm in the hardware business.
Refinishing is a good idea. It's just the sanding part that's a bad idea.
Absolutely. The sanding part just takes forever. But I do have some stuff for that. 3M are great people at 3M make this safety stripper.
Yeah.
You can put that on. You actually let it sit a very long time, and it will just take the paint right off. Still is a lot of work, but it's really easy to get the paint off. But one thing that I like is instead of just buying like a great Clark & Kensington paint, something that you'd brush on, Consumer Reports #1 quality paint, I'm just going to throw that in there. We have these sprayers that you can take an actual color of paint, like wet paint like this, and turn it into a spray can.
Oh.
So if you have a really ornate dresser, and you're using brush strokes, you know, it just fills those ornate pieces up. It really doesn't work really well. This you would just spray. I'm not going to do it because it will get this tablecloth dirty.
This is our new spring tablecloth.
This is the Louis Vuitton tablecloth.
Yeah, it is.
So
it really is.
You would just spray this on, and you put on very light coats, and it's, I mean, all of a sudden the project's minutes long instead of days long, which is so great.
I buy spray paint, though. Just spray paint at Fratelloni's Ace Hardware all the time.
All the time.
We have quite a selection.
You do, but you know, our Clark & Kensington color rack or whatever, it has 1,800 colors. Spray paint, you might have 500. Sometimes you want to match the color in your bedspread, blah, blah, blah.
Okay, makes sense. Okay, so now next Facebook question. This is from Mary Blissenbach. She says, our kitchen laminate floor is buckling at the seams by the door from wet boots. Oh man, you're killing me. Soaking through the rug. Is there an easy way to flatten out the seam? What do you think, Mike?
You know, a lot of people put weights down, and so you put a heavy plate and then weights on top of it to do it. But you know what happens?
What?
Nothing.
Really?
It really is a rip out and repair. But I do have something that you can put down on there, especially around your sink, to protect it.
Okay.
And these are chef mats, right? So this is, feel that once. That's about your weight, just so you know, right? Okay, so these are super heavy duty. And it's a chef mat. You put it in front of your sink. I'm going to I wore socks with no holes today, so I can take those off. And it's like walking on baby's bottoms.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone would ever do that, though, because that would be weird.
No.
So I'd suggest people to not walk on baby's bottoms, but if you did, it would feel like this.
And I think, I mean, regardless of laminate or wood, I mean, we all, you know, are putting our boots that are wet by the door.
You need great rugs with rubber bottoms, right? Boot trays, but this kind of goes in front of the sink.
Yep.
Because you're constantly splashing off the sink. Your hardwood floors always get destroyed there.
Yeah.
You lay this down. These are not cheap. These are like 125 bucks. But when you're walking on baby's bottoms, nothing beats that.
Except without an actual baby.
Without babies,
an actual baby
you're not hurting babies. It just feels like if you, I don't know. It's a theory, and I think I'm right.
Okay, that's good. Okay, you want to go outside?
I do.
Okay, we've got another question from a Facebook friend of ours, Lynn Burnsetter, and she says, how do I wash the siding on my house without leaving a white film or water spots all over it?
Okay, this used to be something that 5 years ago, no one really had an answer for. You'd take, you know, suds and you'd take a broom. Now they have these great hose end attachments that will actually take the mold off your roof, off the side of your house, dirt off the side of your house. This one will do your windows without streaking.
How do you know if you have mold on your roof?
You'll see it. And you know when shingles turn black?
Yeah.
That's mold.
If you don't have a black roof?
Yeah, well, but if you have a different color roof, now a lot of people have black. But you can actually see the discoloration in your shingles.
Okay.
And you don't need to replace the roof. You just need to clean that off, right?
So you don't have to replace it, just that.
Exactly. So there's a few, like this crud cutter will do it, this mold armor will do it, and you know, just the standard Windex. You can stand on the ground, hit 20 feet in the air, and clean your windows without them streaking, which is a big
Nice.
deal. Obviously, you're not going to do it today, but we're going to pretend that it's spring.
Yeah.
So hypothetically, you could go do it today. You'd maybe like shoot ice up there, but it would be great.
I have a question about
Yes.
my deck. So all the snow's been sitting on the deck for months now.
Sure.
What do you do? Should we restain the deck? Should we replace the deck if we have mold, like the
Yeah.
roof issue?
I think you will actually feel the mold and the mildew growing on your deck, and like the moss will grow on your deck.
Yeah.
And again, you have products, this mold armor will actually kill the moss, kill the mold, and kill the mildew.
Okay.
And then you have to decide, how bad does your deck look? A lot of people attempt to scrape their deck off. Man, that's another lifetime summer project.
Yeah.
So you got to be really careful. Cabot Stain makes something called semi-transparent deck stain, and a whole bunch of people make a mistake and they put a solid tone stain on their deck that peels off.
Oh.
This one just penetrates into the wood, so it starts to fade away in color, but it never peels off. So when you're restaining your deck, make sure any flat surface is a semi-transparent. Then a lot of people have composite decks, and I did this the other day. Not the other day, but a year ago, I dropped a fish that was like filled with oil onto my composite deck, and then I had an oil stain on my deck.
A fish?
Yeah, well, like a fish I was taking out to my grill, not a fish. I was like, what are you doing with a fish?
I have never heard that
It was
before
like
in
my pet
entire
fish,
life.
and I dropped him on the one. No, I was taking fish to my grill, and I just kind of dumped it. It was not the brightest thing in the world. But this it's called pour and restore. You pour it onto the spot, and you take it off, and it restores. Pour and restore.
Mike, nice job.
Brilliant.
Okay, so
Okay.
I had a question about my sidewalks.
Yes.
We don't have time for it, but we will get the product recommendations for how to best clean your sidewalks.
They're amazing.
Mine are horrible right now. We'll put those on our website,
Thank you.
TwinCitiesLive.com. And of course, it might not feel like spring outside, but it does inside any one of the 19 Fratelloni's Ace Hardware locations that are across the metro. You can find the store closest to you on TwinCitiesLive.com. Okay, coming